Sam and Brownie.
The podcast.
Good morning, Melbourne, you cheeky bunch of squirrels.
Stop raining. Stop raining.
Stop raining. A month's worth of rain yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I love rain and listening to it, but it's messing with everyone's lives.
It really is.
Yeah.
Including a train driver around Inverleigh.
So what happened?
Mate, it was sort of flooded. The tracks were flooded and it caused the derailment. So nothing to do with the train driver. He's just minding his own business, just driving to Adelaide yesterday morning, and bang, off come the carriages because of all the water over the tracks.
I'm no train driver.
Yeah.
No.
But surely he knew coming up to the flood that things were not... Is it a Montague Bridge situation?
He should have been forewarned.
Yes.
He should have been forewarned.
Of
That's
course.
He's not the track inspector.
Yeah.
He's just driving the train.
How chuffed would you be if you were him just to know, it wasn't me. Shaggy. It wasn't me.
It was one of my... No, it wasn't his fault.
There's so much track out there.
No, I know it's not his fault, but surely, I don't know, logic would say if you're driving... If you're right, do you drive a train? Yeah. If you're driving the train and it's pelting down, somewhere on the track it's going to be covered. So shouldn't you be using the walkie-talkie like we do here with Jack, saying, hey, is this track okay? Should I stop?
Nah.
Well, there might have been some softness, some moisture around the area, Swanee, that misalign the tracks.
I just want to make it clear, I'm not saying it's his fault.
Jackie, is a walkie-talkie
allegedly
working over?
The walkie-talkie is working over.
Ah, there we go. We're all up and running, gang.
You know, the Warrnambool to... One of my first jobs, Swanee, Warrnambool to Melbourne, I wanted to be a train driver.
Yes.
I thought how exciting that would be.
I still think that I should do that. We get a very unique thrill every time if I'm out with my kids and we're crossing the bridge at Camberwell Station, and a train happens to come in, we stop and we wave on the bridge, and without fail, we get a special toot-toot and a wave from the driver, and it is a extraordinary thrill. It's a thrill because that beep was for us.
Yes. You should moon. The kids should be mooning him at that age.
Oh.
Swanee, just a bit of a moon for the train driver going past.
My children are not like your children.
Jonathan, you
I
moon.
think that's safe to say.
You show your butt cheeks, and on the toot-toot, that's when you slap your butt. In
Absolutely.
unison. Everyone knows.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
It's time to stop putting off your trips and start celebrating summer with an amazing getaway.
Whatif.com has all kinds of accommodation options all around Oz.
Check them out on the What If app.
What if it's Aussie for travel?
Jackie's in the studio.
Red at first sight.
Oh, I love this.
Okay, this one I'm going to give to you, Swanee, because...
Explain what it is, Jackie.
Sorry, it's when I found an article online, because I spend way too much time just trawling Twitter and looking at news services. But this one popped up on TMZ, which isn't traditionally where I source my Red at first sights, because it's a gossip website. But this story, they've written quite... you know how TMZ write quite casually?
Yeah.
So I like how they've written this story, so I'm going to give it to you, Swanee, because it's a little risque.
So if Jack finds an article, these guys haven't read it ever, hence the title, Red at First Sight. No pre-reading, just start reading.
Whoa.
And Dino,
I saw the photos.
Dino and Brownie, I've printed you guys photos just so you get a sense of this man.
A father in Texas has a daughter who truly loves him because she took him to see some strippers to celebrate a century on Earth. The photograph is of a very old man motorboating a very voluptuous woman.
Hey, you can motorboat, John. Good technique, huh?
Absolutely. My young bloke used to motorboat from a very young age.
Okay.
A babysitter.
All right. Bam, bam. Get out of it.
Started young.
Get out of it, Bam Bam.
He might have been still on mum's boob at that stage.
He was looking for sustenance.
He had a type.
Jack Pomer recently celebrated 100 trips around the sun, and to mark the special occasion, his daughter Dina took him to a Dallas gentleman's club, The Lodge.
Yes. What a great name for a gentleman's club, The Lodge.
That is good.
Who would want to go to
he's
The
lodged,
Lodge?
He's lodged his bald head in between, betwixt two round chuzies.
Make sure he doesn't suffocate the old boy.
He's definitely a boob man, isn't he? He's really going to town, this 100-year-old gentleman.
I love the sailor's cap on it. Captain.
And we should say, you're not joking.
He's my captain. It looks like he's actually breastfeeding in the second photograph.
Does.
Anyway,
Jack's daughter says her father loves two things in life. Gee, I wonder what they could be. I'm taking guesses. What are the two things in life he likes?
Big boobs.
Women generally and boobs specifically. Boobs are pretty great, aren't they?
Yes.
So a
I
strip,
can't disagree with that statement.
they are great. They are great. In fact, I think they're the most magical body part on any human being.
By a kilometre.
And I'm so thrilled that I have them. I really am. And I look at them, I admire my own boobs often.
Right on.
Because you've got to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just take a little sneak peek down my top and I go,
Whoa,
they're
looking good.
magnificent. They're magnificent.
They've been compared to Scotch eggs
Yes.
in the past.
They're brown and juicy. They're the best.
This 100-year-old man would really like some time with you, Swatty.
Absolutely he would.
His sailor's cap on.
A strip joint made perfect sense for his 100th birthday. I mean, two things he loves, women and boobs.
Yep.
The dancers were awestruck. Jack's daughter would take him to the club, but she says her dad only gets one life, so he should enjoy it while he can. As Hallie Breen says, you have two lives. Your second one starts when you realise you only have one. And that is exactly what Jack has done.
Yes.
TMZ are told the dancers adored Jack, with one feeding him pepper pasta.
And soft food.
And porridge.
And porridge and some Metamucil.
And Werther's Originals.
And a chuppa chup.
Yes. No, why would he have a chuppa chup?
Oh, just old school. Old school things that happen at the lodge.
Okay.
A little packet of Whiz Fizz for Grandad. It's hilarious. Dina was guiding her father around the dances. We might not be able to see very well.
Oh, right.
That's why he's got to get his head right in there. Cautioning Jack gets a little out of hand when he's excited. In one of them, his little clawed arthritic hand is ass grabbing, I think the official term is.
Oh, his false teeth have come out in one of these photos.
Of course they have. Gee, he's ready for whatever happens next. Jack deserved the night out. I mean,
Yes.
that nobody can deny. His wife died 12 years ago. That's a good innings.
Yeah.
God, I bet she was sick of him fondling her boobs. It's probably what did her in the end. And he had been seeing another woman ever since. Go, Jack!
Oh, mate.
But last year, she died as well.
Really?
Rude.
Okay.
Rude.
Yeah, very, yeah.
The folks who... This is why he's so excited. It's been a year since he's had a titty in his face.
Yeah.
The folks who own the club tell us Jack's welcome back anytime. They loved hosting his birthday bash. Daughters, take notes.
You get discounts with seniors cards in there.
Absolutely. Free entry.
Free entry.
Free entry.
You get to make it rain for free.
I wonder if instead of putting, you know, the dollar bills in the underpants, he does that grandpa thing where he holds it in his hand and then takes the other person's hand and lets it in like a secret.
Yes.
Bit of funny money.
Well, he's got a bit of class about him.
If you
Sure
love
does.
your grandparents, you take them to the strippers.
Absolutely. And if you don't, you're an ass.
I hope this old boy survives.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
Time to play there.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yes, it is the game where we give you a subject at the last second and you have to talk about it for 30 seconds. Saying or not once or pausing not once.
Not once.
Not but once.
Have we got a topic ready for Ryan from Clyde? Hello, Ryan.
Good morning. How are we?
Good. You've got early morning voice. I hear you.
Early morning voice. Is that sexy?
Yes, it is, man.
Look, why
Well,
not?
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Hey, you know what? Might I add your conversation before about your big brown juicy Scotch eggs had me
Yes.
in tears.
Did it? Did it, Ryan?
Oh my God, it was so funny.
My brown boobs have that effect on most men.
Well, if they whacked you in the head, that'd have you in tears for sure, right? They can fly.
Oh,
I
that's
want you
funny.
to know that Jonathan took a victory sip after just saying that.
Oh, yeah?
So, this game, have you heard it played before?
Oh, I have, yes.
All right, we're going to give you a topic at the last second. Jonathan, you're chucking it up today. And you'll have 30 seconds. If you do it, a $250 what if
Is
voucher.
there something holiday related?
No, I've got something that's
Okay.
very related. Tonight we've got the premiere of Childish Dino, which is so exciting.
Sounds hard.
What is it? If he hasn't seen it, he's got no chance.
Doesn't matter.
What?
It's going to be a legendary. In years to come, they'll look back and say, joins the greats of animation. So I want to know, Ryan, clearly you would have been a kid growing up watching cartoons.
Yep.
Your topic is animation.
Animation.
Your
Yep.
time starts now.
But let me talk to you all about animation this morning. Now, we all grow up in front of the TV screen watching our favourite shows. Oh,
Oh, brother, it's hard.
no!
It's not easy, man. Hey,
Ryan.
it's not easy.
Not easy.
I'll give you some bottles of Zonzo Estate. 6
Yeah,
bottles
you've
of
got
wine.
6 of them, and I'll throw in a little motorboat.
Oh, that's so kind of you.
Thank you.
Adam, we're going to give one more person a crack. A new category. Swanee.
I'm dangerous this morning. All right, Adam from Paran, you're playing for a $250 What If voucher. So why don't we talk about holidays in general? Now, I just want to give you some thought starters. Maybe talk about a holiday you took as a kid, somewhere where you want to go, a dream holiday, somewhere you've been recently.
I think he knows what holidays mean, Swanee.
Yes, I know, but it's a very difficult. It's a very difficult topic.
He's had a long time to think. Your time
really
starts now.
Well, I've got an interesting story for you about holidays, and it happened when I was about 3 years old. My family, we used to go to Echuca up on the Victorian border, and I was about 3 at the time, and I was walking with my grandfather. We were walking along a golf course, and we came across a golfer who was swearing blind, and my grandfather said, "What seems to be the matter?" And he said, "Well, I can't find my damn ball." And at that time, it was when the Yellow Pages was really heavily into the...
He's done it!
You've done it, Adam! But we've got to hear the end of the story just quickly. Now you can say or ah, but we've got to hear the end of the story. What is it, Adam?
Well, he was swearing blind. He couldn't find... He was saying, "I can't find my, effing whatever ball." So because of the Yellow Pages ads, 3-year-old me looked up at him and said, "Well, I'm sure you can find it in the Yellow Pages."
Oh, that's adorable.
Adam, what a cutie pie.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Instagram.
This story that blew up yesterday, Year 10 students from Bacchus Marsh Grammar, it's a big school, Swanee, about 3,000 students out there, were arrested for allegedly shoplifting on a school netball trip in Singapore the night before. 7 female students were questioned by police and 5 were arrested on the school trip for alleged theft. One source close to the school said the students got back to their hotel at 3:30 a.m. after spending over 10 hours in the police lockup.
That is scary.
Singapore's the last country you steal stuff in.
Yes.
Death penalty sort of material over there. Students, here we go. Students were believed to have stolen items from Victoria's Secret and Croc branded shoes.
Oh, my God. They're so typical, aren't they?
Complement each other so well.
Yeah.
Underwear and Crocs.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. The girls have been back and forth from their accommodation. They're all very sad. They are shattered, including those who have attended the trip but weren't involved in the incident.
It's a shame. Surely there's an anaconda at Bacchus Marsh because Crocs were on sale recently. I had to go and get 2 pairs.
Well,
for
there
my
you go,
daughter.
Swanee.
Oh, sorry, John. This happened in Bacchus Marsh or in Singapore?
In Singapore.
In Singapore, mate.
Jesus.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
could have been facing a firing squad. It just goes to show that your brain really isn't fully formed when you're a teen.
Oh, no.
You make all sorts of mistakes.
It's fantastic. 13, 24, 10. What did you get caught stealing? Have you ever been caught? Well, people have stolen, Swanee. But have you been caught stealing?
Okay, yeah, no, I haven't been caught, but I had a very similar situation here. We went on a school camp to Great Keppel Island.
Yeah.
Really?
Does that even exist or is it underwater now? Who knows? But we were on Great Keppel Island and I had no money like most people don't. And there was this pair of tortoiseshell Jonathan Skeets sunglasses.
Jonathan Skeets.
Jonathan Skeets was a big name in the 90s. And I wanted them. And I wanted them so badly and I didn't have any judgment and I put them on my face and I walked out of the gift shop of Great Keppel Island.
There you go.
He didn't get caught, though?
I didn't get caught.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
But I was with my friends.
You didn't get caught, though, Swanee. These girls did on the netball trip. The old wing attack and the goal defence, the goal attack, goal shooter, all in the pen in Singapore. Fortunately enough, not facing the firing squad,
Thank
Swanee.
God.
They're okay at the moment. But what did you get caught stealing? Just like those girls on the netball trip.
Tell us your shame. It's after some rat bags from Bacchus Marsh got done stealing in Singapore. Of all places on this planet Earth, they chose Singapore on a school trip, Zach, which is pretty crazy. Don't you agree, friend?
Yeah, I do. When I was younger, I was 19 years old, going to the milk barn and sole intention of stealing some zombie chews. I slid about 5 down my jacket sleeve.
Wait. What is a zombie chew?
A zombie chew is like a lolly. It's probably about 15 centimetres long. It's a long sort of sticky, like a Zappo kind of thing.
Yes, I know the ones.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah. So I chucked about 5 of those in my jacket sleeve, and I went to the counter to go pay for something else, so it was less sus. And the guy's like, "So you're going to pay for all those zombie chews in your jacket?" And I just went red, and I didn't know what to say.
The shame.
What'd you do? Did you give them back?
Oh, he made me pay for them all.
No, he had to pay.
He legged it.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Zach.
So, no good.
Thank you for being honest. You're gonna celebrate with some beautiful wine from Zonzo Estate. It's in the heart of the Yarra Valley. Let's go to Kristen.
It's out his way too.
Hello.
Hi.
G'day, Kristen. What'd you get caught stealing?
Good morning, gang. I got caught stealing when I was 12. I'm now 40. I got caught stealing a toy for my dog from the old, when it was called Safeway at Southend Shopping Centre in Cheltenham.
Yes.
I was going to say if it was from Pet Stock, I'd hunt you down, Kristen.
Oh, why? Have you got shares in it?
Yes, he does. Yes, in Pet Stock Warrnambool.
No, but the story goes on. So the police, a lady came out, the stupidity of me not just stealing. I sat out the front showing my friend, look at my dog. And then a lady came up and said, "Excuse me, can you please come with us?" The police came. I got escorted in a divvy van back to the cop shop.
Yes.
And strip searched at 12.
What?
Strip searched?
Down to my crop top and undies.
Oh, this took a turn.
The big lady came in with gloves on, and I said, "Is this going to hurt?" And she laughed and said, "No."
Kristen, they were obviously teaching you a lesson. And did you get the lesson? Did you ever steal again?
Not a chance.
That's what I say to my kids because, ripping things off is still a thing. I don't know. It's a rite of passage, I guess. It's clearly against the law. But I always say to them, before you ever do that with your friends, think of the moment that they call me and I have to come down to Big W or Kmart or wherever you are.
Safeway.
And you have to look me in the eye. The shame of it.
Mate, I had to call Target after I got done stealing lollies. The lady said, "Your mum has to call me." So I went home and pretended to be my mum.
Yes.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
The podcast.
Well, we're up and about today, not only in this studio but out there. I feel like we've got the devil in us. Speaking of, welcome to the microphone, Samuel J. Pang.
Good morning, Melbourne. It's wonderful to be. Dino.
Woo!
Chrissie.
Yes.
John.
Samuel.
Present. All accounted for.
All accounted for. Are you done?
And everyone always wonders what we're talking about during the songs.
Are you going to lift the curtain? I think you should.
The great Tia Carrera's name was mentioned 40 seconds ago, and this studio went bananas.
And just before the mics went live, Sam said, "The Relic Hunter, whatever."
Never seen it.
Either have I. Didn't even know it existed.
Well, Tia Carrera, you may know from the what's the
Wayne's World.
Wayne's
World, and then the Sean Connery movie called like The Rising Sun. No,
was it The Rising Sun?
Wesley Snipes and Sean Connery's in that movie.
This break started so strong.
Hey, and it's getting stronger.
No, it's whizzled away like a
what are you going to do?
Yeah, I think it might be The Rising Sun.
John, speaking of movies, what did I text you last night, brother?
Con Air was on last night. Zito texted me just so I got the kids to bed.
What time?
It would have been about 8:30.
Oh my God! What? You've got rid of my number already? I know we're finishing up,
Just
but
thought about John. He loves that movie.
Hey! Didn't even know the name of the characters when we last talked about it.
One of the great TV viewers contrast last night. Contrasting night. I went from my mum, your dad.
How good is it?
It's sensational.
Yeah.
Into Con Air.
That's a good double.
How many bottles of red?
No, I just had half a bottle of scotch.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
Now,
previously on Random Thoughts.
What nursery rhymes would sound like read in the style of a kidnapper disguising their voice when making the phone call for a ransom?
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
I've got a good call in. Do you own a waterbed, an Uber, where you're allowed to drive, and it's called Uber.
Now it is time for Sam.
That is a business idea. I would absolutely do that.
If that's the one thing you always want when you get in here, I just want to drive.
I said a couple of teammates tried on footy trips.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't work as well.
Okay.
No, that's called carjacking.
All right.
Hey, Sam, before we finish up, we've only got 2.5 weeks left. We do need a last pangs phoner.
Oh, Swanee, come on, really?
Yes.
I told you I wanted to do that one about 10-pin bowling. No one got behind it.
I'll get behind it.
What was
I'll get
the
behind
call?
anything you do.
The call. So if in 10-pin bowling, right, a perfect game is 300. You know,
Yeah.
that's just strike after strike after strike after strike. My call-in was, what's your highest bowling? What's the highest number you've ever got bowling that's not 300?
Yeah.
Because I think if you bowl, then you remember your highest score. That's all I'm saying.
now.
Mine was 189.
Really?
Yeah.
189, I'm not sure.
It's not bad.
We got close to 200. I saw the world champion. He's from Perth, actually. World champion 10-pin bowler. We were over there playing football. We just walked past. We'll go and have a game in 10-pin bowling. He was there practicing. He was the guy that used two hands.
Cheating.
Remember him from Perth? I didn't realise you were allowed to use two hands.
Neither did I.
He used two hands.
He's a virgin.
Yep. He was on the tour in America, Swanee.
He's a nerd biscuit. All right. So I'll do 120 before the end of the year, absolutely. Speaking of the end of the year, because I just read, these are random thoughts I've just written down. I've just written down go the distance, as in, I wonder once our announcement was made, it's always a bit hard for motivation. And I was thinking, are we actually going to go the distance?
Yeah, I got to admit, I was sitting here looking at you, my friends, thinking, do we have it in us to, go the distance?
Wait, that's got to be high, Mason. Come on. Here we go.
Crack that, Mason.
I do wake up every morning. I do. The alarm goes off and I go, am I going to be able to go the distance?
John? Your thoughts, John?
Every time we go boxing after work, I question whether my friends Sam and Dino will go the distance.
You son of a bitch.
I know I will.
Oh.
You're what?
There's not a
I'll
question.
go the distance.
There's no question. There's no question Jonathan Brown's going to go the distance.
Like
That
you're
was
married.
never in doubt.
Like you're married.
Not so much.
Oh, God. You know people are listening.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Are they still?
Not my family. They just stay home for fun.
Random thought too. They stay home for fun, do they?
Yep, they do.
Another random
it's a new thing.
thought. Let's never forget this. I wrote this down. I just wrote David Wenham. Now, for the rest of time, when I think of David Wenham, I'll remember one word.
I know what it is.
Go.
Daylighters.
Daylighters.
Is that it? Yes.
Him and Johnny Depp did a few daylighters.
And you know what? It was a term because I thought when you said
I've never heard that.
I've never heard it either.
But I thought I've heard that from somewhere. The boys used to use it in Brisbane in the early days when I got up there because obviously when we're younger men and we're running around Brisbane for the first time, Swanee.
Younger men.
There was a few daylighters and obviously the sun's up early.
Jackie,
yeah, the sun
come
gets
in,
up.
Jack.
The sun gets up about 4
Hold on.
o'clock up there.
We're going to
time.
walkie-talkies.
Jack, how many daylighters have you had this year over?
I reckon 12.
Jesus.
12
Jesus.
I've had one.
The Logies.
The Logies.
Daylighters are a bad feeling.
I can't remember the last daylight, honestly.
Hey, this is a silly one. Now, Swanee, have you seen Rocky 3 and Rocky 4?
No.
You know what I wrote down? Drago, the villain in Rocky 4, versus Clubber Lang. Thoughts?
It's been thrown up before.
Has it? On this show?
I think you get him for size. Drago gets him for size.
Okay.
So,
That's big, Dan.
I'm not sure it goes.
What was the question? You just said two names.
No, well, I'm saying if the villains in Rocky 3 and Rocky 4, right? Clubber Lang and Ivan
So
Drago.
they're not in the same. They've never fought each other.
No, they're
Right.
Rocky's. They're Rocky's nemesis in Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. If they fought each other, that's the question. So I'm just saying Drago versus Clubber Lang. Brownie said Drago might have him for size, and I just replied that's big.
I've got one thing to add to it, though.
Waves.
I'm not sure Ivan Drago versus Clubber Lang would go the distance.
What? You don't think it goes all 12, 15 rounds?
No, I don't think so. Like in those days, 15 rounds.
You're a walking headline today, aren't you?
Mate, that's the power of those two men. There's no way you're surviving.
We've woken up dangerous for sure.
You're running your mouth
Stories
off,
of
John.
Motorboating and stealing and all sorts.
How good's motorboating?
Yeah, it's good. I'm fine with it, actually.
What?
I enjoy it. I think it's very funny.
Here's one for you, Dana.
Brodie, get out.
You know, Cheezels, there's a price hike. Cheezels are going up. Did you know that?
I heard. I'm
What?
flat about it. It's a 40-cent price hike.
Yep.
For Australia's favourite cheese snack.
I bought 2 boxes of Australia's favourite cheese snack for half price last week.
Are you eating them with chopsticks?
No.
Can I suggest you do? Because then you don't get dust on your fingers.
The cheese dust.
Thank you.
All right, I better finish, eh?
That's smart.
I just I found this a little website that had Arnold Schwarzenegger's 6 rules for success. I thought I'll bring them to you now.
Oh, yes.
Write this down. Get a pen.
I'm going to need it. I have got a pen. I'm writing them down.
Number 1. I've done some research. No, so
Sleep with the maid.
No, that was number 7. Don't have an affair with your housekeeper. and have a child with her was number 7.
That's why they didn't go the distance.
What?
That's why they didn't go the distance.
Schwarzenegger's marriage didn't go the distance.
No. They got
Maria
divorced.
Shriver. That's gone.
All right, quickly. Number 1, trust yourself.
Good advice.
2, break some rules.
Yeah.
love that,
Yes.
That's our motto when we go out. Let's make some mistakes.
We chucked the rule book out a long time ago.
Mate, open that window. There's a rule book going through it. What? Number 3, don't be afraid to fail.
Yes, these are good.
4, ignore the naysayers.
Yes.
5, work like hell. That one
Yes.
I've got a bit of an issue with. I think you've got to keep fresh.
No.
Just work like hell.
Pretty
Will.
unbelievable.
This is good. 6, take
The
steroids.
way he worked in the early days.
Number 6, give something back. What does that
How
mean?
do you feel about that?
Oh, no. You know my
I know.
thoughts on charity.
Don't like
Jesus.
charity. You don't like it.
And just remember, you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets.
What does that mean?
Well, it's easy for him to say. His hands are all over that housekeeper. So
Want to see what happens in the studio? Check it out on Facebook. Follow Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Yeah.
That'll be sensational. Tell you what wasn't sensational. Well, it's footy time. A huge story broke yesterday afternoon where an AFL umpire was arrested.
Yes.
Allegedly arrested. There's 4 men arrested, Swanee, including an umpire. His name is Michael Pell. It's been publicised. First year last year, he umpired 16 games, or officiated in 16 games. And
I wonder how many other criminals have the same name as...
We all thought it.
what's happened? I'm not up to date.
He's obviously, the umpires give their 3, 2 and 1 for the Brownlow medal.
Yeah, I know how the Brownlow works, mate.
And then it's under lock and key. And it's not revealed until Brownlow medal night, which is the Monday before the grand final.
When the armour guard van comes in,
out. So it is under lock and key. So after they write the votes down, the umpires meet after the game, the central umpires, and they put down their votes, and then it's given to an usher, I guess, or a person that escorts it off to the armour guard office, and it's under lock and key. So the only people that would actually know the votes for that game are the umpires. Well, there was some unusual betting patterns. Now, this is why the betting companies, in alignment with the AFL allows betting to be on our game, but in response to that, they want information to come back. Yeah. So the betting companies obviously called the AFL and said, hang on a minute, there's some very suspicious betting on the Brownlow medal night.
What?
On particular games. So then they unusual bets of, big odds, it's called spot betting, big bets taken on a particular player to get the 3 votes in that game for best on ground. So then they went back, and in one of the games, a lot of money was, and what they would do, they would spread it over a number of betting companies.
Smart.
So to not raise the alert.
No 1-11-0, huh?
One of the games I was in round 11. Was Essendon versus Port Adelaide, where a big bet comes through from Sam Powell-Pepper, the Port Adelaide player. Sam Powell-Pepper didn't receive coaches' votes. He only had 15 disposals in the game, kicked 1 goal, 4. And there was a player called Darcy Parish who plays for Essendon. Mm-hmm. He had 39 disposals that day, 7 or 8 clearances, about 500 metres.
So he would have been the natural choice.
The natural choice, or Ollie Wines, or a couple of others, not Sam Powell-Pepper. So that was one of the games in question.
Is he related to Michael Pell?
No.
Okay.
No.
The way, can I just defend you there? The way he's saying it does sound like you're saying Michael Pell Pepper, but it's Powell Pepper.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, sure.
Just to clear it up.
Sorry, my mistake.
There's no connection. So obviously what Michael Pell has done, he's come out of the games knowing full well what players got votes, or allegedly, and then has told his mates, and they've got in a little betting syndicate, and they've decided to have these spot bets on particular players winning the 3 votes in the Brownlow medal. Which obviously they did. They come through. So now whether it's a proper syndicate or it's Michael Pell, the umpire, just telling his mates, and his mates have got a bit carried away and thought, what we'll do is we'll just spread the load over a number of betting companies.
How do these people think they're not going to get caught? That's what I don't understand.
I'm impressed.
Me too. But so what's the issue, John? You know, I mean, in a bigger context.
Well, it's fraudulent. It's corruption. So the umpire has inside information, and they're passing on that information so people can win money from the bookies. So he's in a fair bit of...
Repercussions, John.
Repercussions. Well, the last famous person famous incident that happened was an NBA referee. He did 15 months jail.
Take his whistle.
So I'm not sure this man will end up with getting jail time. But
start looking at a Jim's Mowing franchise, Michael Pell. That's my advice to you.
You know how they worked it out? It was all the particular games. They thought, that's easy. The only people that know would be the AFL. So the would be the umpires. So the investigators went back over the games, and there was one common denominator in all those games.
Pell.
Was Pell.
Yep. So, hey, the surprise is that there's an umpire that's not a nerdburger. This is exciting behaviour from one of the great...
You're really a glass half full guy,
you're trying to be positive.
Yes.
Hey,
he's an entrepreneur.
See you in prison, pal.
This was an ironic quote. This was at the commencement of his first season. He got asked, I don't know why an umpire was doing an interview, but he said, amazing and a great sense of achievement that everything I've worked towards has culminated in a moment such as this.
What, getting caught cheating?
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Sarah Arbo, one of the nation's finest journalists, who you can actually see on 60 Minutes and occasionally on the Today Show. Last time she was on the show, she delivered this killer Housewives tagline.
My job is just like Sam's working week. 60 minutes.
Here's Arbo.
Hi, Sarah. Hello. Very good, thank you. I want to talk about 60 Minutes.
Yep.
You were Ms. 60 Minutes this weekend. 2 stories.
I was busy this weekend, Chrissie, yes.
Yes, Erin Brockovich talking about it's like I don't want to use the word and get that company in trouble, but it's a...
Why not? Get them in trouble, Chrissie. Go for it.
No, because I don't know the actual name of it. It's
the device is called Assure.
Assure.
And it's manufactured by the big pharmaceutical company called Bayer.
Yes. And they're in trouble because if you whack it up there, it's not a good outcome.
It's 2 little, coils.
Yes.
That are inserted in a woman's each fallopian tube.
Yes.
To prevent childbearing, right?
Yes.
So it's a contraceptive, but it hurt a lot of women, damaged their fallopian tubes. In fact, in some cases, it wasn't even effective and women fell pregnant. So from its inception, it was pretty dodgy.
That's not ideal.
Device. No.
And then so that was the great Erin Brockovich.
Yeah, we had her in it.
She's brash.
She's terrific.
Is she on their tail? Is Erin Brockovich
yeah,
on their
so they've been sued in the US to the tune of $2.5 billion. They had to pay out a settlement. And she was, as Erin Brockovich does, she gets out there and she advocates for the underdogs. So that was her role over there. And she happened to be in Melbourne when we were filming this story. And obviously, given her background with this particular device and the women it's affected, we thought, hey, are you free for like a little sit-down?
Is that the first time you've met her?
It is.
She's really...
Very familiar with her work, obviously.
Yes, she's really something. I met her once. She was doing the rounds. I think it was at a different radio station. And she was here. She was an ambassador for Shine Lawyers.
Yes.
And she was the most on-brand ambassador I've ever seen. Like, we would say, what'd you have for dinner last night? And she's like, yeah, I had pizza. Shine Lawyers. Like, it was just, she just got it in everywhere she possibly could. She is something.
For those who didn't see Johnny didn't see the story, it was a bit of a witch hunt, to be honest. I mean, the big business.
Yeah, you would say that.
Very one-sided coverage, by the way. For those viewers, though, a regular 60 Minutes viewers, Sarah, refreshing to see you do a show, by the way. I mean,
hilarious,
to do a story on that show, because how would you say? You haven't been overly prolific.
She's on a rotation.
Are you joking? There were 2 stories. You also did the Gabby Petito
That was
story.
on Sunday, but when was the last one before that?
Okay, Sam, I've just been a bit busy doing other things, but sure. And often our stories take a while to film, to put together. I don't know about you, just stroll in here and you've got your briefs written for you and you just read off pieces of paper.
No. All I'm saying is that many viewers of that show were wondering if you were still part of that show. So that's good to know that you did 2 stories on the
brunette
Sunday.
one is on that show still.
We have Channel 9 on in the studio here, and we saw you last week on the Today Show with the great Carl Stefanovic.
Yes.
Were you dancing at the end of one episode? You were really cutting the rug.
I got caught up in the moment, Chrissie, yes.
Yes, I saw that. Good on you.
Yeah, it was a bit of fun.
Well,
you've got to compete with Carl. Have you seen him bust some moves out there?
He's unbelievable.
He's incredible.
He's like a drunk uncle at a wedding.
He is. That's exactly what he is.
I bet you were disappointed you weren't working yesterday for the launch of the new season of Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah.
When Ali and Carl had cowboy hats on
and a whip.
And were
And
whipping.
cracking the whip.
They were learning how to crack
Wasn't
the
that that was brilliant.
We couldn't hear it. It was
I think
Ali.
she went all right. I saw some. There was also like some ad break action from Ali. I don't know how good she is at cracking the whip. She's a very good journalist.
She looked like she had good
just put the whip down.
Listen, like that appearance last week we saw. Was it you on Friday?
Yes, it was Friday.
We noticed this because Jack
Jack
pointed out that you're doing you do the news at the top of hour.
Yes.
But also you got like a little bit of editorial was sneaking into your. There was a.
I don't know what you're talking
there
about.
Was well, let's play it then. There was a car chase going on in the States that you were reporting on.
Eventually, though, he crashed at a service station where police made the arrest. They love a car chase over there. Well, there's a new flavour in town this morning.
They're the facts.
Just present the news, Sarah. That's all people want.
That was like a thought bubble. I didn't realise I actually said that. It was like thinking out loud. But they do. They love a car chase in the US. I mean, it goes all the way back to O.J. Simpson, right?
Are you concerned?
Hours hooked to the television.
Choppers
footage. Following him everywhere.
Are you concerned at all where Carl Stefanovic gets his news from?
What do you mean?
Well, I am.
I've just had a look at the dark web.
So all I'm saying is, is that what your bosses want?
We'll take our news sources from wherever they come.
Pang brought this up the other day. How do you get to the dark web?
Is it easy?
We got onto the dark web once for a 60 story, actually, about... Wait, what was the story? I've got to get this right. Where the women were being exploited, right? And so they were essentially selling photos of women on the dark web. So we went on to have a look. It's actually not that hard. You just need like a different sort of router thing.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it. I couldn't show you how to do it, but we were shown how to do it. And I was surprised. It just looks like a normal web interface. Like it's not, dark and gloomy as you expect it to be.
Yeah, it's not like an image of the Grim Reaper.
Yes,
that's
what I was
how
expecting.
I see it.
I was like, it's going to be like this big dark thing.
Could I buy?
It's not like that.
Could I buy a hand grenade on the dark web?
You probably could, Dino. I wouldn't advise it, but I'm sure you.
I googled it, and it feels like it's sort of like having a VPN.
Yes,
it's you just need that, and away you go.
Can you delete your history on it as well?
No, but that's where the history goes to survive and thrive.
Asking for a friend.
Asking for you, Dan.
Oh, yes. Hey, Arbo, you're hanging around.
I'm hanging around. Do I have a choice?
You got 2 breaks in your arm.
So you don't have another interview to get to on another station or anything, do you? All right?
Oh, no, Sam.
Do you know
guys
this
are
one?
my favourite trait.
You know this one? You don't. Sorry, I know we got. Sarah appeared on a rival breakfast show, don't you? After doing, she filled in one morning. She filled in one morning. You haven't gotten
over it, Sam, have you?
She filled in one morning for you, remember?
Yeah.
2 hours, on our show.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, just pops up on Kiss FM.
As a guest or as a co-host?
Paneling she was doing.
I'm pretty popular, Chrissie. So.
Of course you are, and rightly so.
Spreading the love.
Absolutely.
Do you know your editorial?
That's bullshit, Arbo.
Do you want to see what this looks like? Well, get the visuals on Instagram. Follow Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Mate, Sarah Arbo is in the studio. Hey.
Just a reminder what studio she's in, by the way.
Oh,
do you know
hilarious.
Hey, you've seen the comedians.
Yes.
Tell
Jackie
us.
Boy and I went and saw the comedians.
Sam's stand-up show with Malloy, Sheargold and Mooney.
And Chrissie, there's always the weakest link, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that person is?
Wow.
I mean, does it need to be articulated?
Well done, you two. Good stuff. That's good gear.
No, tell us a bit more before we move on, because we
We've
still
got stuff to do, Dino.
Mate, this is important, all right? Tell us.
Well, hang on, I should refer to you, Sam. How many? It was a sellout, right? How many
Yeah,
tickets?
sell out, Sarah,
how many
that's right.
tickets were sold? 2,000.
2,800.
A lot of family.
2,800.
A lot of family were there.
Not as much. Family not as interested in
Your
coming to see
dad
me.
was there, right?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, was he proud of you? Was he happy with
I haven't
it?
seen him for 20
Did he
years.
think it was funny?
Owes me a lot of money. But anyway, no, that was... let's move on. This is more important, Brownie.
Absolutely it is.
When we have professionals in. We like to dig a bit deeper and see, what they can kind of tell us about how their profession has been represented in popular culture, specifically television. Now, we did this last time you were in, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
And Brownie, I've never seen him more engaged. But so, obviously, investigative journalist Sarah Arbo is here, Brownie. What's your first question?
Well, I'd like to know, because you do some auto cue work.
Yes.
You're not only just a journalist out there in the field asking the hard questions, you're also presenting as well. So just like an anchorman, do you like to proofread the auto cue, or do you just trust the people that are writing the words and read it live?
There's generally, it's a bit of a luxury to be able to pre-read something that's on the auto cue these days. So often you are reading it blind, as we say in the biz. So sometimes, you got to put a lot of faith in the person writing it. And look, sometimes there have been some hairy times. It's been awkward.
So do you think you'd be capable of making an audible on the run if something came up and
of course
they threw in
if there was a car chase, yes, you go with it, right? Like you just go with what you're saying, you describe what you're saying. That's what we do. But sometimes, you get the words come up incorrectly or it's spelt wrong or something, and you just have to wing it and hope that you made the right call.
From what I've seen, you should just stick to the script, all right? I don't think, free
even when it's wrong?
Free formies you'll go. Absolutely, especially when it's wrong. Hey, here's one for you. There's a movie called Broadcast News. Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't think I have, actually.
William Hurt, I believe.
William Hurt, Albert Brooks, and Holly Hunter, right?
Albert Brooks.
And there's a scene in that movie where William Hurt's character Tom he's actually just conducted a very, very powerful interview, and he's teared up. But they only had one. It was a one-camera shoot.
Oh, that sucks.
So they had the camera on the person he was interviewing, and so they all wrap up, and it's like, wow, that was pretty powerful when you cried. And he said, I can do it again. And so this was a big, why is it? Anyway, so they turned the camera around and he teared up again, and then they put it in the story. So my question is, why is tearing up during an interview a kind of like, kind of staging tears? Why is that necessarily such a bad thing?
Staging tears is a good thing, is it? It's not genuine.
I'm just
Sam.
asking for the sake of the story.
In the moment when you're interviewing somebody and you're so moved by what they're saying that it brings you to tears, that's a genuine reaction, right? So if we're not actors, we're journalists, so you can't just turn. I mean, I don't know can you fake cry? How do you fake cry?
Watching 60 Minutes is usually an easy one.
In light of that point, don't you guys, after an interview, have to do fake reactions, like confused reactions?
What's the difference?
Tittillated.
Noddies, I believe they're called. Noddies.
Noddies, that's right. Chrissie, that's the term. Well, generally speaking, we're very fortunate to have 2 cameras on our shoots, so our genuine reaction is captured. There are occasions where we don't have that luxury because we're in a small room or a tight space or we don't have time, so then you record the noddies.
Yes. So let's say that you do cry legitimately. Why is that manna from heaven for a story? Why is that? Well, whenever Carrie tears up, it's a story.
Oh, you mean like fodder? Like for...
Yeah, why is that
I don't know.
Interesting or important to a story?
Well, I think for us, it's like I said before, you're sort of in the moment, right? And so it's a genuine reaction, and I think you also need to convey the emotions that the audience is feeling. Because we're human, right? So we get caught up in whatever they're telling us, and it would be inhumane if you didn't respond the way that someone else would hearing a story like that. So
Brownie teared up teared up when he heard you appeared on Kiss FM. Didn't you, big fella? I know it was a big day.
He's never going to let it go.
He's caught up on this, isn't
he?
He sure
Another question, big fella?
No.
I don't. Hey, Sarah, you ever worn a wire?
Yes. No, I've never worn a wire.
Would you?
No.
Really?
You can't wear a wire. Well, I can't wear a wire. Somebody else could wear a wire for us, but I can't wear a wire.
Why?
Because it's unethical. It's just like there's a code of ethics.
Ever carried a gun?
Oh, God, I'd love to.
Never carried a gun.
Have you ever done a stakeout and eaten donuts?
Always.
Yeah,
would you ever?
Like totally, or croissants, you know.
Yeah.
Are you a Scotch and cigar smoker? You know, when you sidle up to a bar to get information.
I mean, if I have to.
Would you ever act as a
if
decoy?
It requires it. Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
What about all the President's Men? There's that famous sauce they have that they keep eating in a car park.
Yeah,
Deep throat.
We've already spoken about that.
Yeah. But that's the name of it.
You can meet in car parks occasionally.
Yeah.
Would you ever give up a sauce? No, let me rephrase it. What would it take for you to give up a sauce?
I would never give up a sauce, Sam.
Seriously?
Ever.
Is that day one of journalism school?
You can't give up a sauce.
What about a special
They've come
sauce?
to you because they trust you. No.
What about an aioli?
Well,
tell you what, I reckon 2 tickets to BBL would get you to roll over. That would be like that would be it.
Is that cricket?
Is that cricket?
So
are you pretending?
Arbo's weakness, the BBL.
Free pass to Luna Park all over. What else?
Front row seats to that.
Oh, yeah, here we go. In Superman, I was watching Superman recently. Lois Lane, right?
Yes.
Interviews Superman in her apartment. Is that normal practice for a reporter to conduct an interview in their apartment?
It wouldn't be unusual. She's a print reporter, right? So it doesn't really matter where you conduct the
daily.
Yeah, so it doesn't. You can do that anywhere. You can do it. I mean, I've had people over my place for like pre-interviews, where you kind of have a chat to see if there's legs in a story and so on. And sometimes, obviously, with their consent, you would record that and then you'd use that as background information and so on. But print, you can do that and go to print with the information that you've gathered. I can't. I can gather information, but then I have to put a camera on that person and I have to repeat it.
Superman, though, Jim.
Well, like Superman, have you ever had to go into disguise and cover up your true identity?
Also, Superman and Fletch. Fletch was he was a master of disguise in the Chevy Chase's character.
That's true.
So what's
you really like journalism reporting kind of movies? I'm gathering.
Well,
here,
we
Sam.
did what's the go with disguises? Why are they unethical?
Because you're the journalist. You have to act with integrity at all times. Sam.
Boring. The subject needs to know what they're doing. You can't trick them.
You trick them.
You can't trick them. Hey, we're running out of time. We've got to get out.
Journalism is misdirection. Arbo, we love
everybody.
you. See you soon.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
The podcast.
I want some tropical stuff.
Here's a sense of the day, Tuesday, November the 15th, halfway through November. And John.
Sam.
Whoa, I know after grand final day you don't like to talk any AFL anymore, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir.
Summer John, refer to him as. That's his name now.
Well, Summer John, sorry, mate. There's some news. The AFL umpire, Michael Pell, has been arrested, accused of leaking Brownlow vote tallies to friends who gambled on the outcome. Your thoughts? Give us some waves.
The headline is Brownlow Medal, MEDDLE.
That's good work from that sub-editor. What else you got? Come on, John. Big, isn't it? It's a big story. Could
huge
it be
story,
Okay.
It's a huge story. Well, I'm not sure the betting amounts. For Michael's sake that,
that they're low.
Look, if I was guessing, he's told his mates, this player gets 3 votes in this Brownlow. It's called spot betting. And then late in the season or on Brownlow night, his mates are sitting around going, we know Sam Pepper's going to get the 3 votes in round 11 when he didn't play that well. So he's got good odds. So let's just spread it around the betting companies. Have $10 here and $10 on sports bet and $10 on Ladbrokes, whatever it may be. But then obviously the betting companies are going to look at that and say, well, hang on a minute. Why are these bets coming up on this player who didn't play that well? Then obviously the AFL investigates, looks at who the umpires are, and there's one common denominator in all these games where there was usual betting patterns, and this was the
umpire Michael Pell.
George.
So the AFL have retrospectively they have announced they'll be going back and looking through old games. There's one in 1978, by the way, where your father Brian played on Lee Matthews and received nine free kicks from those umpires. They'll be having a look at that one. I would have thought 9 free kicks in that game.
The umpire will be arrested and locked up forever.
Jay Leno is in a burn centre after suffering serious injury to his face.
Oh, my God, why?
Because, he loves his cars. He's got a massive, massive vintage car collection, right? So he was in his LA garage where he stores all the cars, and then one of the cars just erupted into flames without warning and burned the left side of his face, but thankfully did not it stayed away from the eye and the ear. And so...
what was he doing alone in there with his cars?
You don't want to know.
Kissing them.
I thought so.
Putting it out there.
Mate,
I suppose we'll never really know.
Love is love.
No,
you have to be very close to the exhaust.
If a man and a car love each other.
Exactly.
No, he's wax on, wax on.
No, but I suppose it's a danger with vintage because he's got old cars and a lot of money, right? And so he buys old cars, and so old cars may not be as mechanically sound as they once were.
Absolutely.
Bursting into flames out of nowhere.
Passion.
It's terrifying.
Friction.
Can electric RAV4s do that?
My Swift can, let me tell you.
It's got good skin too, Jay Leno.
Your Swift should not be on the road, by the way.
That's a lie.
It should. If there's a car, apparently, Leno, the report's just in. He was standing next to a Swift. And that just
How long
up.
has it been since that Swift has been given a roadworthy?
Mate, I take that back. It's full. All the treading on the tyres.
They'll never catch you.
They'll never catch me. It'll be OJ down the M1.
Hey, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos plans to give away a majority of his $124 billion net worth during his lifetime. He plans on devote the bulk of his wealth to fighting climate change and supporting people. Geez, the family would be a bit flat, wouldn't they?
Just gave Dolly Parton a $100 million US reward or award for her services.
Wow.
To charity and all those sorts of things there.
Oh, here's some Bunchen news.
Bunchen.
Giselle Bunchen may have a new man in her life.
What?
Really?
I don't know if I feel comfortable. This feels like a bit... What am I doing with this story? Am I genuinely interested?
I was hoping they'd get back together, Tom Brady and Bunchen, just like Stallone and Flavin.
Yep.
Or Flavin.
Yeah.
Is
How
it Flavin,
could she be
Swanee?
bothered?
She's
Flavin.
She's stepping out with a jiu-jitsu instructor.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Hot. There you go. I'm already back. The duo was snapped. It's all
They might be friends.
Was he wearing his jiu-jitsu uniform?
Good question.
Yes, he was.
Really?
Yes, he was.
Jeez,
He looks awesome. You
At
should
dinner?
see. Yeah, he went to dinner in his jiu-jitsu outfit.
Never off.
If you're a jiu-jitsu...
Like a 6-year-old after his class. I see them at Sophia's Pizza House in their jiu-jitsu uniforms.
If you're a jiu-jitsu instructor, you wear that thing. You're not allowed to take it off.
Yes.
It's painted on.
You took an oth.
You're sewn into it.
Hey, in fairness to Giselle, she's allowed to have a male friend.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Doesn't mean they're going out. They're just friends.
What is wrong with you?
Is there an echo over there?
I know.
I don't know, man.
All right, we'll finish with this.
No, they're not.
I'll finish with this. Fitness influencer. Jiu-jitsu instructors, fitness influencers. I'm giving you the stuff.
Very fitnessy today.
Fitness entrepreneur Steph Claire Smith has revealed, she's revealed that she took part in a 30-day intimacy challenge with her husband.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of these.
Yeah?
Where you
What have you heard, Swanee?
You've got to do the business every day for 30...
Well,
Oh.
Swanee, that's like,
Apparently that's it.
but that's going straight to the main.
My friend did it.
Really? But
Yeah.
this is
Still
more...
work?
Yeah, they're still together.
It's not necessarily about the, sealing the deal, if you know what I mean. It's intimacy, general there's cuddles, there's touching, there's
Dress-ups?
Yeah. there's snooker balls. There's all this little beautiful things that help a relationship.
I would go in a jiu-jitsu uniform.
They did general
sure.
intimacy, Swanee, like cuddles and kisses. They increased that, and so that wasn't sex wasn't the purpose of the challenge. It was just
That is the purpose of the challenge.
to create more intimate moments. It's not like slam bam, thank you, ma'am, or whatever you do over there, Swanee. It's about just being more intimate.
I think it's wham bam. Thank you.
Listen, if you have to do a challenge where it involves touching your partner every day for 30 days, you've got some big problems. Big problems.
Say that again.
If you've got to do a challenge just to touch your partner every day for 30 days,
No, Swanee,
it's over.
No,
Call a lawyer.
It's about prioritising that. It's not about just, let's have sex.
I think you'll find it's about...
I know what you're saying, but if it's just a cuddle, Jesus Christ.
It's about slam bam, thank you, man.
Yeah, that's is that the not? Hey, is not
Good
the,
horse.
Hell of a horse.
I think it's wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
I'm just saying it's
But
about
maybe it's Sam
anyway,
Bam, thank you, ma'am.
The interesting, thank you.
What about this if it's Slam Bam, thank you, Sam?
Yeah,
I like that.
Thank you, Brownie.
It's slam bam Sam. Unhook me, please.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
It's Tuesday, which means Tony Martin. But where is Tony Martin? Tony Martin?
Come in, Tony.
Is that the Slam Bam Thank You Ma'am show?
It sure is, Tony. Why are you on the phone?
I've got the COVID.
Oh, you
Whoa!
got it.
Is this the first time, Tone?
First at the end of, nearly 3 years. And I've been very big on wearing the masks all over the place. But, of course, when you're doing a comedy gig, you can't really wear it. Unless you're in the band Tism, you can't get away with wearing a mask. So I think
so true.
I've picked it up at some comedy gig. But anyway, it's very weird symptoms. It's all over the place. I've lost my sense of taste. I've started wearing Lycra bicycle shorts to a local cafe.
Oh, God. And are you listening to Matchbox 20?
All the time. Nothing but. And Herb Alpert's Tijuana Brass.
That's one of the great songs. So, Tone, when did you get it? When did you go down? What day are you up to? All that sort of. Give us the details.
I think it was like around Friday. So, Yeah, it's about day 5 now. There's just no logic to it, I'm finding. It's not like a cold where you kind of know what's coming. It's like there's a monkey in the control room just pressing buttons at random. What does this one do? Oh, it's incredibly hot. Oh, now it's incredibly cold. It's just like that. But anyway,
I thought you were immune to it, Tone.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I thought I was one of these smug people who's going, well, of course, apparently I'm not going to get this at all. But there seems to be
by the way,
point.
the way you sound, I reckon I'll give you about 6 months tops, by the way, Tony. You don't sound that great.
You've actually picked a good time to get it because, back when we got it, you had to isolate and tell everyone. And this one's, you've got a bit more agency, T. Martin. You can go, you know what, I'm gonna stay at home.
Well, I am staying home, and I've been listening to the show, and I was very intrigued by your segment about how people's professions are portrayed in movies that you did earlier. And the one, of course, that we never talk about is radio announcers. Don't you love it when you see a radio announcer in a movie?
Yeah,
firstly, they just never stay on the microphone. Have you noticed that? They're just walking around in the room. They're all over the shop.
Yeah.
They've never got any headphones on. You never see anyone go, can you turn your radio down, please?
This is a good point. Tony, just to put you on the spot, so we had 60 Minutes journalist reporter Sarah Arbo in earlier. What would you have asked her about, what are your experiences with journalism in radio and television and movies?
I'm trying to think. I love that thing of... you were asking her about the days. Do they still do that thing where they have to film all the reaction shots of the journalist afterwards, so they have to sit there nodding and...
Yeah,
It depends on how many cameras you've got. They're called noddies. So you often do your interview. Weirdly, I did a few stories for a current affair years ago, and we just had the one camera.
Whoa!
What? I know. What? Yeah. Weird. Anyway.
New host.
As that they only had the one camera, so we were on site filming everybody and I was interviewing, and then afterwards everybody left, and the camera was turned on to me, and then I had to nod and go, yes.
Can you remember what one of your stories was?
To a producer.
You remember what one of the stories was?
Yes, but I won't go into it now. It's too late.
See, I think if I was doing that, I would just make sure that every time they cut to me, I was just wearing slightly different clothing.
Just really mess with people.
Just subtly, so that you weren't sure that's what you were seeing at first, and then suddenly just a giant red afro just for one shot.
Tone, it's 8:30. We'll stay on for as long as you'll talk to us, but anything else you want to get off your chest?
Well, have you got this might take a minute or so, but I was going to tell you a story about how we were nearly burgled in the middle of the day. Can I tell you that?
Yes.
So this happened last week. In the middle of the day, we're both working at home, me and the girlfriend, and two blokes come up our front path. This was all captured by the neighbour has security cameras because he's constantly having bicycles and things stolen off the front of his house. Two guys come up the front path looking like lower-level Breaking Bad sort of associates of Jesse Pinkman. And one of them at the front is a sort of rat-like guy with a whole lot of equipment under a plastic raincoat. And the one at the back is a hulking 6'6" Frankenstein guy in a hastily cobbled-together homemade high-vis outfit. Whoa. So he's trying to look official. And he's just carrying a crowbar. So they come to the front door, they ring the doorbell, girlfriend goes yes. I don't say anything. She rather scarily goes downstairs to see them trotting off down the path because they obviously don't want to burgle anyone who's at home. So what they then do is they go 2 doors up to our neighbour's place and they go up and they ring his doorbell, and he's got one of these apps on his phone where no matter where you are, the camera in your doorbell comes to life and you can see what's going on. Have you seen
I
those?
love one of them. I think they're called The Ring, something like that.
So he's in Italy. And his phone comes to life and he sees two blokes in homemade high-vis trying to crowbar open his front door. So what he does is he waits 20 seconds till he gets a good sort of shot of both of their faces, and then he presses the microphone and goes, "Can I help you?" And they immediately just run off.
Wow!
And I don't know what happened. I mean, he's obviously reported it to the police. I haven't heard what's happened. But what did happen was we have a local Facebook group for the local community, and there were just dozens of pictures of them from various security cameras. There's more pictures of them than the Kardashians on the internet at the moment.
That's
And
unbelievable.
they're just all over the Facebook group, and there's so many comments about them. People are saying things like, oh, yeah, those two guys are always hanging out by the toilets at the Coles car park.
Oh, my goodness. They're
People are
in
just,
trouble.
They are local celebrities, and it's a thumbs up for the local Facebook group, which is generally just, does anyone want to finish this pavlova?
What a great
You should
story. I
just put a
love it.
sign up saying we have COVID, Tone. They'll stay away forever and just leave it up there.
Very good.
A good one, actually, to deter burgers is asbestos removal in progress. That's a good one to get on the
That's
bloody
good, but he's got his high vis on. He's ready for it. Hey, get better, Tony Martin.
Before we go,
Thanks,
mate.
guys. Have a good one. Cheers.
Sizzletown, new app or what? What's going on real
Yes,
quick?
I think all the callers are going to have COVID.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Instagram.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Over 100. Now, it's tidbit time. So, on 13 24 10, make sure you go through the correct protocol. Gardner, I see you hovering. Are you are you going?
Like a stalker. You stalk this segment.
I can go. May I offer you a tidbit?
You may.
David Bowie launched an internet provider in the late 90s.
What?
What's it called?
It is called BowieNet. He launched it in 1998 and existed till the 2000s. You'd pay about $19.95 a month, which is pretty competitive. You'd get an email address and a ton of storage.
He's up with the hard-hitting editorial there about the competitive.
Ash, you've done it again.
You're always the best.
That is competitive, though.
It is.
Back then,
Brownie,
yeah.
for backing me up.
Amazing.
Yes.
Jackie in Gladstone Park, what do you got for us, mate?
May I offer you a tidbit?
Yes.
Ethiopia is on a 13-month calendar and is about 7 years behind our calendar.
So is Adelaide.
What do you mean? What? So if you were living in Ethiopia, it's 2015.
Roughly, yeah. Yeah, they use a different calendar. I can't
Do they
pronounce
refer to it as 2015?
I think so. They have they use the Geese calendar.
How is this allowed? Make booking a flight tough.
Yeah,
Jackie.
you cannot fly to the past.
A deluxe gift pack from Pano Organic. It's got chocolates and spreads and all sorts of good stuff.
If you do fly to the past, though, Tony Martin is waiting for you at the airport to pick you up.
You can go in a DeLorean.
Caleb, what do you got for us?
May I offer you a tidbit?
Whoa, hold on, Caleb. How old are you?
I'm 14. Well,
Jeez,
13, but turning 14 very soon.
When? What's your date?
19th of February. So not a few months.
Yeah, close enough. Happy birthday for that, because we'll be off air then.
Sorry, I asked. What's your tidbit?
Yeah.
Sorry, may I offer you a tidbit?
Yeah. You may, Caleb.
Did you know that yawning actually cools down your brain?
No, I didn't. Good one.
What's the science behind it?
You make that up, brother?
Well, no, I didn't. So basically, when you deeply inhale the air around you, the yawn reduces the temperature of the blood, that flows to your brain. So, yeah.
That checks out. I like it. Also, how does it feel to be living in the suburb with one of the most superior McDonald's ever?
It does. It feels pretty good, yeah.
How good is it?
Hey, tell your crush at school that tidbit. It'll go all great. Real. And you got a ticket to the Melbourne Zoo, buddy. How good's that?
Thank you.
Now, let's get him something else as well.
What else we got, Dina?
Some wine.
No, he's too young for that. What else?
A family pastor, Triceratops, Fate of the Dinosaurs, discovered the world's most complete...
make-out meals.
What? Choose a damn prize for the kid.
It's also for his birthday.
Yeah.
Birthday's not till February.
Meal vouchers,
Yeah, but we'll be out. We'll be out. Do you like cooking, mate?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
No.
Okay, we're going to give you a deluxe gift pack from Panna Organic. That's chocolate and spreads and more, including a rip-off of Nutella, which is delicious. And we'll also give you a $200 make-out meals voucher, Caleb.
Thank you.
They're really fun and fancy restaurants like Entrecôte, Mamacita, Easy Peasy and more.
Obviously, it makes sense, though, because yawning to cool your brain down.
Yeah.
I used to always yawn in the pre-game meetings.
That's because that's
you had a hot head.
You're listening to Lee.
Well, you're getting- yeah,
listening to Lee Matthews boring the crap out of you.
When is this going to end? Obviously, the pressure.
Yeah.
You're starting to feel the pressure, so your body's trying to cool
That's
down.
interesting.
Yeah.
Also in Baldwin, Emerson, what do you got for us?
May I offer you a tidbit?
You may, Emerson.
Okay. The Greenland shark is the oldest living animal on the planet and can live up to 400 years.
What?
Wow.
I think that's about as long as Anne's pantry's been there in Whitehorse Road, am I right?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of local references that only people in Baldwin would get.
Baldwin's a big suburb.
They look at it well. They look a bit like Sam. I tell you what, if you Google it.
What, the Greenland shark?
Yeah.
What did you say? It looks like me.
Yeah.
It looks a bit like Sam, I reckon. 400
It's
years
the most,
old.
Oh my
the most
God.
handsome of the sharks, is it?
yes.
It's the coolest shark, is it?
Absolutely, Sam.
It's like Jabberjaw. Hey, it's the Greenland exception. Let me have a look. Greenland
heard of it before.
shark.
I've never heard of the Greenland
Swanee's
shark.
going to
I
confirm.
really hope it looks like Sam because I love an animal.
How
person
big is the
look-alike.
shark, typically?
Oh, it's, probably a couple of metres, and it's not a grey white, but it.
Well, on
There
that,
we go.
It's referred to as strange and gruesome
What does
in
it
the
look
New
like,
Yorker,
Swanee?
which
Brodie's
makes
holding
sense.
a picture now. What does it look like, do you reckon, Swanee? Turn to your right. There you go. Does that look like me?
Doesn't really look like you, and I'm good at these.
Well, it's got a lot of female sharks hanging around it, John.
Well done.
No, I got there
It's got a
eventually.
glass of red and a vape in its hand. It's definitely like Sam.
pineapple vape.
That shark looks drunk.
Hey, Emerson.
It's you. It's uncanny.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. Ripper Show will be back tomorrow. Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. Oh, unless it's a weekend.
Nova 100.